And good morning, Finger Lakes. Jim Sinicropi here, sitting in for the dog H. Weber once again this week. Next week, he'll be back. I got a big show on tap this morning. Is Terrel Hunt the new Syracuse starting quarterback? I'll give you my thoughts. Also, the Bills win and tons of action on the local gridiron. But first, I'd like you to meet a 9th grader from Newark High School who is currently the #1 ranked diver in New York State. I recorded an interview with Alexandra House. She likes to go by Allie on Friday afternoon that I'm looking forward to play for you in a moment. But first, check out this video of Allie House from October of 2012. She was in 8th grade diving for Newark, and yeah, check this out. 8th grade Allie House.
That's impressive.
2.4 degree of difficulty dive. Forward
great
2.5 touch.
Great scores and
Watch
fun
this.
to watch.
Look at this hurdle.
Very few
Up,
divers
straight
in the league
reach,
are capable of doing
tight
this.
tuck. 1,
Dive at all, let
2
alone put it in the
and a
water
half.
like that.
And nice
And
straight
entry.
toes.
To get that much around before hitting the water of only 3 meters is...
So there she is in 8th grade now. She's a year older and keeps getting better. And hopefully you enjoyed this conversation I had with Allie on Friday. So here we go. And I'm lucky enough to have Alexandra House with us. Allie is a freshman at Newark High School, and she's currently the #1 ranked diver in New York State. So, hey, Allie, how you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to talk to us today. Why diving, Allie? What drew you to that sport?
Well, I started off when I was 3, and I was a gymnast for 10 years, up until injuries forced me out of the sport. And so I switched over to diving, and it's been a blast.
So gymnastics for much of your life leading up to the diving. Has that helped you be a better diver?
Yeah.
How so? How does that help? How does that translate?
Well, it helps you a lot with spatial awareness, and corrections apply the same, and it's about the same work ethic.
So how many hours a week would you say you devote to training and practice?
I'd say about 20.
Okay, so it's pretty significant. Of course, if you're going to be ranked #1 in New York State in anything, I'm sure that a lot of work goes into it.
Yeah.
Any other sports you play besides diving in high school?
Nothing other than swimming and diving.
So you compete in a lot of swimming events too. What events do you compete in on the swimming side?
I compete in the relays and the 100 breaststroke and the 50 freestyle.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about how a diving competition takes place in high school. I'm sure a lot of our listeners might not have ever been to a swimming diving competition, but actually the diving portion, is it similar to what we see on TV for the Olympics? Is it it's obviously judged? How does that work?
Yeah. Each dive you do has a specific number and a degree of difficulty. So you have 3 judges, and they'll still score you like 1 to 10, 10 being perfect. And the score you get, they all get combined together, and it gets multiplied by the degree of difficulty, and that's how you get scored for a dive. And you tend to, for high school, you tend to do 6 of those, and they add up all the amounts for each score, and that's how you get your final.
So I assume different dives that you attempt have different degrees of difficulty and therefore a chance for a higher score. How do you determine, what dives you do, and what are some of your best dives?
I usually go for dives with harder degree of difficulty, but I am better in some categories than others. I am better in like a twister category.
Okay.
And a front category, like 2.5 flips.
Now, at the high school level, are the dives the same height? Like, how high are you diving for? Is there any high dive competitions? Any schools with that type of facility?
In high school, you just dive 1 meter.
1 meter dives. Have you ever done anything higher, just practicing, or been to different facilities to practice?
Yes, for outside of diving for the club I'm in, I compete 3 meter as well, and I have practiced some tower, which is 5 meter, 7 meter, and 10 meter.
Okay. 10 meter, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
So, how about some goals for diving? You're only a freshman right now, and you've had a great start to your season, and you're state ranked. What are your goals as a diver?
My goals for my high school season, I would love to qualify for state championships and place top 3 in sectionals.
Okay, so how would you qualify? When does that actually happen? Is this a fall sport or?
Yep, it happens during your high school season at sectionals. If you score a certain amount of points or above, you qualify for the state championships.
So what about a longer term goal? Where do you want to go with diving? Maybe is it something you want to continue to do after high school?
Yes. I would love to go to a Division I school for diving and possibly the Olympics. That would be my all-time ultimate goal.
Sure, absolutely. So is there any like accelerated training that you can do? You mentioned being in the club in the off season. Is there any other opportunities maybe available to you as you get a little older to enhance your diving career?
Yeah, for the outside club I do, it gives you a lot of exposure to colleges. Like if you do really well, you progress to regionals, zones, and nationals, and then you're competing with like the best divers in the nation.
Right, and that's something that would get you excited to compete on that level?
Yes.
All right. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Maybe coaches, family that have supported you as you're in your training? And obviously, you mentioned 20 hours a week of training. That's on top of regular high school coursework and everything else an average freshman in high school would do. Is there anybody you'd like to mention?
Yes. I would like to thank Ted Van Dyne and Dale Bingley. They're my high school swimming and diving coaches, and then my outside of high school diving coach, Sean Austin. And my parents for supporting me through everything I do.
All right. Well, Allie, it's been great talking to you, and we wish you the best of luck here from FingerLakes1.com in your season and in your attempts to qualify for sectionals. And certainly, we hope to have you back, if not this year, over the next 3 years. You're certainly making your family and school proud.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you.
Thanks.
So there you have it, Alexandra House, Allie House, freshman at Newark High School. One of the best divers in the state. She's only in 9th grade, so she's only going to get better. We're going to hear a lot more from her over the next 4 years, I'm sure. And when we come back, I want to talk about the Syracuse quarterback situation and run you down on all the action in local high school football and explain why Doug Marrone was crying. Was a little teary-eyed during his press conference after the Bills' 24-23 win over Carolina on Sunday. But first, let's hear from these great local sponsors that make this show possible. And welcome back to Weber this week. Jim Sinicropi sitting in for the dog H. Weber. He'll be back next week after a 2-week hiatus. And on Saturday, Scott Schaefer got his first career win as a head coach as Syracuse defeated Wagner 54-0. Now, I know it's only Wagner. Syracuse moves to 1-2, but I remember last year, the season ended great for Syracuse. They were 8-5 with a Pinstripe Bowl victory, blowing out West Virginia in Yankee Stadium. And last year's season didn't start out too good. They were 1-3 through 4 weeks, and they had trouble getting by Stony Brook, an FBS school like Wagner. So I feel good about taking care of a team like Wagner, 54-0. Tulane's next. I'd like to see a similar performance against them. Be a little more difficult opponent than Wagner, but one that if we're on track, we should handle easily. And then, of course, on October 5th, we open our ACC schedule against Clemson. Well, and not many people got to watch this Wagner game. It wasn't on TV here in the Finger Lakes. But what happened was Drew Allen, the transfer from Oklahoma, fifth-year senior transfer from Oklahoma, who was a starting quarterback the first 2 weeks, started this game against Wagner, and 3 consecutive series without a score. Then we bring in Terrel Hunt, and he scores a touchdown, and he leads drives over his next 5 possessions for touchdowns. Terrel Hunt goes 15 of 18 for 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Allen did come in the third quarter and engineered a scoring drive of his own. His final numbers, 8 of 11, 62 yards and a touchdown. Not bad numbers there, but, Terrel Hunt also came in late in the Northwestern game and engineered a scoring drive, and everything we've seen of Terrel Hunt so far has been fantastic. He just looks the part. He's only a sophomore. My question is, how did Scott Schaefer and his staff not see the difference between these two guys in practice? Allen came late. He wasn't there for spring practice. But still, you have to wonder, what type of result will we have had against Penn State or even Northwestern if Hunt was our starter, because the offense seems to move. I think that part of it is Hunt just has a better rapport with his receivers. They feel more comfortable. He knows where they're going to be. And, Allen not so much. Allen, a low release point, gets a lot of passes blocked at the line of scrimmage. I really think we're going to see Terrel Hunt take over from here on out. And, it's a good thing because he's a sophomore. So, if he is a real deal, which he looks to be, we're set for the next 3 seasons at Syracuse at quarterback. And always nice to have a guy at quarterback that you can count on when you in college football, any football. So hopefully we're going to see Terrel Hunt start against Tulane and here on out. Scott Schaefer isn't quite going that far saying that. As a matter of fact, he was quoted in saying, we had 2 Big Ten teams that Drew went up against, so I don't want us to get all down on Drew Allen because I believe in that kid as well. And Schaefer's basically taking the stance of, look, we got 2 good quarterbacks, which is important. You never know when you're going to need one or the other. But Terrel Hunt looks like the quarterback of the present and future for Syracuse. And I'd be shocked if he wasn't starting at quarterback against Tulane. Now, some other bright spots, in that 54-0 Wagner win. Jerome Smith got on track, 61 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. As a matter of fact, everybody got on track. George Morris, the second, had 56 yards rushing on 9 carries. That's a 6.2 yards per carry average. Prince Tyson Gully, 33 yards on the ground, a touchdown pass. Amin Moore, somebody we haven't seen much of this year, he got some time, 4 carries for 26 yards. And Devontae McFarland, young running back in the mix, had a touchdown, 23 yards rushing on 7 passes. And Terrel Hunt rushed for 22 yards. Now, looking at the receivers, I think they really benefited from having Terrel Hunt, behind center. Jared West, 5 catches for 147 yards and a touchdown. Jeremiah Kobina, 4 catches for 55 yards. Chris Clark, 4 catches for 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ashton Broyle caught 7 balls for only 37 yards. And I mentioned Prestice Ngoli had a touchdown reception. So a lot of talent on the Syracuse team. I didn't mention the defense. They threw a shutout. It was Wagner, but I'm high on our defense. I like our defense. It was the offense, I think, the first 2 games that was really most concerning. So hopefully with Terrel Hunt, leading the charge, we're going to see more offense, and we're going to take care of Tulane, and then hopefully pull off an upset when the top 5 ranked Clemson comes to the Dome on October 5th, and then hey, why not win the ACC? I think we got the talent. I can't wait to see more Terrel Hunt. So, hey, congratulations to former Syracuse head coach Doug Marrone on his first NFL win as the Bills hold off the Panthers at Ralph Wilson Stadium on Sunday, 24-23. Hey, anybody that watched this game, E.J. Manuel, solidified himself, obviously, as the starter going forward with this win. Wasn't all that impressive, but they got helped by a pass interference call late. The Bills really had no business winning that game. Late drive with just seconds remaining in the fourth quarter that was aided by a pass interference call that got them down into the red zone. But they did. And you know what? In the NFL these days, you got to win close games. It seems like every game is close. Look at the Saints and the Bucks yesterday. Saints should handle Tampa Bay, right? Well, Tampa Bay, Ryan Lindell, former Bill kicker, misses a 40-something yarder that would have pretty much iced the game for the Bucks. And then about, 40 seconds later, New Orleans kicks a field goal to win the game by 2. So you got to win close games. So the Bills lost a close game to the Pats last week. This week they pick up their first win at home, edging out the Carolina Panthers. Now, Marrone was teary-eyed after the game, but not necessarily because of his first win as an NFL head coach. He was actually mourning the loss of a friend from his time at Syracuse. Rob Edson, the athletic director at Onondaga Community College and former Syracuse Athletics Administration Associate Director and Chief Financial Officer, died on Saturday while he was mowing the lawn. Suspected heart attack. He was only 45 years old, 2 years younger than Marrone. Edson's been OCC's athletic director since 2001, but spent more than 20 years at Syracuse, including the time that Doug Marrone was there. He graduated from Syracuse in 1990, which is the same year I graduated from Syracuse. Or actually, the same year I graduated from high school and went off to Syracuse. Edson's wife, Sue Edson, is Syracuse's assistant director of athletics for communications, and Edson has a son, Thomas, and a daughter, Tracy, that he leaves behind. And, of course, our thoughts are with the Edson family during this difficult time. On the field, rookie quarterback E.J. Manuel may have outdueled Cam Newton. Cam Newton was 21 of 38 for 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. E.J. Manuel, 27 of 39 for 296, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, also lost a fumble. So, a lot of hype around Cam Newton. Now he's got some experience. He's becoming a veteran. But Bills rookie E.J. Manuel, a guy who a lot of people were surprised was selected in the first round by the Bills, is stepping right in. And I'd say he outplayed Cam Newton yesterday, especially because he got the win and Newton's team didn't. So congrats to Doug Marrone and the Buffalo Bills. Now let's get a little closer to home and look at some scores from around Section 5 this weekend. Clyde Savannah Golden Eagles, 40, South Seneca 0. Joe Fanil had 2 touchdown passes for the Golden Eagles, also picked off 2 passes on defense. Todd Romano carried the ball 11 times for 139 yards and 4 touchdowns as Clyde Savannah rolls over South Seneca Romulus. University Prep 46, Minders 0. That was a game played up in Rochester, a non-league contest. And Minders is Clyde's opponent next week. So Not a good week for the Blue Devils, who dropped to 1-1 on the season. Good local matchup, though. Minders Clyde next week, next Friday night, I believe. Canandaigua Braves 27, Greece Olympia nothing. Canandaigua moves to 2-0. Jamin Ransom had 22 carries for 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Wayne Eagles 49, Midlakes 23. Wayne moves to 2-0. They forced 6 turnovers on defense, and Justin Morrison, want to talk about a big day? Justin Morrison, 17 carries for 186 yards and 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns, and if that weren't enough, Morrison returned a punt for a touchdown. So there's 4 touchdowns in that win for Justin Morrison. Newark Reds 40, Waterloo Indians 0. Newark moves to 2-0. Micah Wright had 3 receptions for 33 yards and a touchdown. Also had 40 yards rushing, and he returned a touchdown, an interception, 55 yards for a touchdown in the win. Also, Micah Wright, the point guard of the basketball team, 4 extra points. So Micah Wright was doing it all, and Waterloo falls to 0-2. Geneva 42, Palmac 0. Geneva moves to 2-0, and Javon Jackson, the running back from Geneva, 24 carries, 231 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Not many close games this past weekend. Here's one that was kind of close, though. E.R. Gananda, 39, over the Penn Mustangs, 22. Zach Hauser threw 3 touchdown passes, and Jake Miller had 14 carries for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win for E.R. Gananda. How about Red Jacket? Red Jacket and Clyde battled in sectionals last fall. They might be, if they're still in the same class, which I believe they are, they might be heading towards another showdown in the postseason. Red Jacket 46, Lions 8. Red Jackets 2-0. The Lions moved to 0-2. How about Dundee? They put 85 points up last week. This week, 52 points to Marcus Whitman's 20. Dundee moves to 2-0. Marcus Whitman's 1-1. And Victor evens up their record at 1-1 in the young season with a 34-14 victory over Spencerport. Hey, a pair of 5Ks coming up in Seneca Falls and Geneva over the next couple weeks. You got the Forever Young 5K on October 12th to benefit the Freddie J. Morganti III Scholarship Fund. You can run, walk, you can volunteer, you can sponsor the event. Pre-registration at www.foreveryoung5k.com. Come on down and join the run on Saturday, October 12th. Starts at Kids Territory on West Baird Street in Seneca Falls. Registration begins at 8 a.m. with a 1-mile fun run beginning at 9:30 a.m. And the 5K run gets underway at about 10 in the morning. And for more details, you can contact Mark Reese. He's the race director at 315-568-2193 or visit foreveryoung5k.com. Also in October, on Saturday, October 5th, it's the Barktoberfest 5K in Geneva. Pre-registration deadline's Friday, October 4th. You can register at City Hall, 47 Castle Street. It's $25 or $20 pre-registration, $25 the day of the race. Now this is a fun event. They have 2 runs, 1 run, but they let the racers without dogs go first at 10:20 a.m. after the kids get off at 10 a.m. for a kids fun run, and then at 10:30 racers with dogs run. So you can run with your dog through Geneva for this 5K at Barktoberfest. If you are running with your dog, proper rabies vaccination info is needed. And then they have an award ceremony at 11:30, and this includes prizes not only for the best finishers in the race, but the best dog costumes. So, looks like a fun event in Geneva. A couple of 5Ks, Forever Young 5K on October 12th in Seneca Falls, and Barktoberfest 5K on October 5th in Geneva. Well, the Web Dog returns next week on September 23rd, 1 week from today. And, we miss him here. I've had fun sitting in for him for the last 2 weeks, but it is Weber This Week is the name of the show, and next week Weber will actually be back. So, as far as weather this week, It's a little cool today on Monday. It's warming back up into the 70s for the next few days. Wednesday and Thursday look like the best. And, get out and enjoy it. There's nothing like fall here in upstate New York. So enjoy the weather. Enjoy the Monday night football games tonight. And Jim Sinicropi here for Harold Weber. Have a great week in the Finger Lakes, everybody. And we'll see you back here next Monday morning at 9:30. And special thanks to Alexandra House for taking the time to talk to us. Have a great week, everybody.